Hey boy.
Make him whistle like a missile. Bomb, bomb.
What's up, B Squad? It's your girl Alexis, and today we're going to do a little story time. Oh, sorry. So, by subscribers' request, they asked me to do some advice for high school freshmen, and I feel like this is just going to be advice you should take from freshman year up to college. Because once you start it, it'll be easier to do. So, one thing I'm gonna say to do: test. You fail a test, it doesn't define the rest of your grade for the rest of the semester. You fail one, you're gonna fail one test. I'm not saying it's good to fail a test, but it's going to let you know, okay, I need to study more. I need to do things different. That's when the whole probably trying to find a good tutor. It'd be best to try to go to your teacher, unless it's like this. Okay, if you don't like the way your teacher teaches, find another teacher. Or if you know other friends and they say, oh, I like the way my teacher teaches, they do this, go with them to tutoring. Because I mean, it's kind of awkward going into another teacher's classroom without knowing them. Like, okay, my freshman year, I was on drill team, and my drill team director, she was a math teacher. I liked the way she taught math and how she would play games with us in the morning to prepare us for tests. So I went to her. But it really wasn't awkward for me because I knew her. Like I said, I had her for drill team. So, but I ended up going to her for things. So I ended up learning that way. When it came to history, I got small group testing because I have ADHD, so that helped a lot more. And then he was a really good teacher. I just liked him. I've never really had a good history teacher besides him. And when in college, but that's another story for another time that you'll never know about. But like, try to find good teachers that are good at tutoring because it'll help. Because once you understand it, now you just gotta apply that onto doing everything. Another thing I didn't do my senior year: always do your homework. Always do your homework. Because if you fail one test, but it's like this, okay, you fail one test, but you have all your homework, and your teacher sees you're trying, they're going to give you some leeway. Especially, like, okay, I had one teacher, I had a 65 in the class. She bumped me up those 5 points because she saw I did. This was one of those classes my sophomore year. I did all the homework. She saw me actually trying, even if I didn't do so well on tests. She saw my commitment in trying to pass that class, so she did give me that leeway. Don't fight back with your teachers. Don't. You're never gonna win. No matter even if they're wrong or right, and if you have people on your side. The schools, there's a 99% chance the school's gonna take up for the teacher. I had a teacher that didn't like me. And the thing is, I didn't do nothing. Like I said, I didn't do homework. So I feel like that's probably the reason why she don't like me. But I'm like, not a good enough reason. Like, okay, so the way I do things, like, I like to ask the question before I apply it. So, like, I asked a certain thing about math, and she pretty much told me, if you know everything, you don't need to ask questions. Why would you tell that to a student? Don't know, don't ask me. But, so, like I said, that's another reason why I ended up going to another teacher, is because I just didn't like going to her. Like, I didn't like going in her class. Like, my whole day was good except for her class. So, and something I also know too is like that we would do, because you can do this at any school. I feel like, I don't know, I know my high school, they did this early in the semester. If you feel like you don't like your teacher, like the first couple of days, switch. Go to your advisor and ask them to switch. And if they ask why, just say, I don't feel comfortable with that teacher, or I feel like I can't learn. You have to know why. It can't just be, I don't want that teacher, or I don't know anyone in that class. Sometimes not knowing anyone in the class is the best for you, especially if you're talkative. it's best to not know anyone in the class because you're most likely not going to talk. You're going to be forced to listen, which could be the best for you. Like, for me, I like not knowing anyone in math class because that means all I have to do is listen. Because I don't get on my phone. Don't get on your phone. You'll get distracted. You won't listen. You'll probably look up, write down anything, but you're not going to understand what you're writing down, so what's the point? Always take notes. Something I've always done is I always take notes and I highlight. So what I did is I have like 5 highlighters. Well, I used to have 5 highlighters now. I'm a paperless student in college, so that's a beauty. I have an iPad, so I use that as my textbook and notes and all that stuff. So I highlight on there, like I highlight important things like the title of what it's supposed to be over, of that little section and stuff like that. And then what I do is I highlight that, get the little points, and then when I go home, I read my notes over again and compare it with the textbook and see what I need to know, see what I already don't know, and start taking notes. That you start reducing your notes, because once you start doing that, you'll start realizing things you already know. You won't really, then you realize, wait, I don't need that much for the notes. Don't wait till the last minute to study. I do that all the time. I don't know why I do that. Well, I used to do that all the time. I don't do it anymore. Because then you're forced to study it all. And it's hard to recognize. Take a section a day. Because you know, you're going to have a test at the end of this thing anyway. So, what I do every single day is I get my notes, take those, and take that on down. And like I get my notes and I use them for my homework. And then also, so I studied that too. So I get it, and then the next day I add that to my study. So I don't just stop studying it. I add it onto my studies. So by the time I get to the test review, I know majority of that. I just gotta get that little bit left. And then every day I try to get in early. Well, I would stay after school for tutoring because I couldn't do early morning because I had drill team practice. So yeah, I would do after school tutoring. And I would make sure I would go to the right teachers. I would know. I like doing group tutoring because it's easier, because you most likely have someone who struggling the same thing you need to go with you. So I have some tips in here. They always say it's good to learn. Make sure your teacher knows you. That's a good thing to know. Make sure you know your teacher. Know where your classes are. Like, get them. Like, I would try to recognize my classes by the second or third day of school without a schedule. It's important. Ask for help getting to your class the first day. Don't be scared. It's okay. You'll most likely know someone there. You'll most likely know a friend there that you went to middle school with. So that helped me. Try to join a team. People are going to say teams are for losers, but you end up making friends out of that. Most of the time, you can meet people who are upperclassmen who already took these classes, who know how to do this stuff in this class, where, boom, easy tutoring, easy help. You know, that helps. I did that too. Being on drill team, people, since I was a freshman, I knew seniors, juniors, and sophomores. People who just took these classes. I was able to get help, so I didn't fail by much, which was a good thing. Let me see. Manage your time wisely. You're going to want to have a social life. Everyone wants one. So that means, so what I like to do is I like to come in when I get home. Okay, so it's like this. Whenever I have free time in class, I'll try to start doing my homework because, I mean, it's easy, obviously. You just learned it. Teacher's there. You can easily get straight up questions. You can get your questions answered right then and there. You're done, right? And if I don't finish, I take it home, do it immediately. Shouldn't take too long. And if it does, you figure out what takes too long. And then I try to go to tutoring before class. know someone in the class, get their social media or something, because you don't want to always give your number away. Get their social media or something and just talk to each other. Help each other. Make sure you always have a planner. I'm gonna say that now. It helps, because you don't want to look up and be like, oh, we have a pop quiz. They're not really pop quizzes. Teachers mainly tell you when you're gonna have them. They're not pop quizzes. My mom, she used to think they were pop quizzes. I just didn't care, so I didn't study for it. They're not pop quizzes. You know when they are. I knew when all the quizzes were. It's just, did I want to study for the quiz? Study for your quizzes and study for your test, because that quiz is gonna let you know what you need to study for that test. You want to try to do your best in all quizzes, because they're important grade. They're not as important as a test, but they're still a good percentage of your grade. Stay on your grade, because you don't want to be that student at the end of the semester, I'm failing, and if you're not failing, still do the extra credit, because there's gonna come that moment when your grade starts to slip, and that extra credit is gonna help. Because there's moments in class I'm not even failing, but I do all extra credit I can do if I can do it, because it's gonna help. And plus, it can bring your grade up, because there was a time in one of my classes I had a C. I did really, really good on all the projects we did, and I did all the extra credit, and I'm having an A. Didn't do too well on my I didn't do so well on my my final, but my grade was already so high I ended up making an A minus. So that's all I can think of right now. That'll be the end of this. Please subscribe and ring that bell so you can get notifications the next time I post a video, which is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will be linking down my Instagram so y'all can follow me, DM me if you want me to do anything else. I will also be linking my last video, which was a Blackpink video, all my fellow Blinks, down below. And comment down below anything you want me to react to or you want any advice on. And I'm thinking about doing a giveaway, but I don't know what to give away, and I feel like y'all don't comment anything, so I'm not going to just yet. So that'll be the end of this video. Bye.
Make 'em whistle like a missile. Bomb, bomb. Every time I show up.